Woman. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Dara.
I'm so excited to have you here. For you Wise Inc. readers, I met Julia at an event we had back in October. It was called the Indie Author Summit, and Julia mentioned at the summit some of the fun things that she was doing to market her ebook that hadn't been released yet. I've since downloaded it on Amazon. I have it on my Kindle app on my iPad, and it's really, really good. Julia, I am so proud of you. You are a fantastic writer.
Thank you very much, Dara. That's very, very high praise coming from you.
Well, and I wanted to make sure that I connected with you and had you featured on Wise Inc. because I feel that so many people misunderstand the level of effort that it should take to market an ebook. And you were mentioning some things that you were doing, and I just was automatically excited, and I wanted my readers to connect with you on some things that you're trying for your ebook marketing.
Okay. I've kind of been all over the place with a lot of different things that I've been doing. I think social media has been one of the really critical pieces.
Yeah.
When I first started the marketing, ahead of the launch about 2 months ago,
Yeah.
I had had a Facebook page for a while and had a LinkedIn page, and I'd had a Twitter account for like a year and a half, and I
Yep.
didn't really do much with anything but Facebook. And so I really started to manage those. And I also broke down and finally got onto Pinterest because I knew that that was a big
Ooh.
yeah, I knew that that was going to be a big market. It's the likes and the reviews on Amazon that bump you up in the ranks. And
Oh.
I don't remember off the top of my head what the numbers were, but I think the day that Widow Woman launched, it was at something like 57,000 for its rank.
Wow.
More people clicked like, and I went up to 21,000.
Wow.
To 21,000 in rank from 4 likes.
I
So
had no idea.
I didn't realize that either. And again, I did a lot of research, and the more reviews and interviews people hear from me, they'll know that I do my research. And that is a tip that I
Yeah.
learned in another blog that that, that really does have an impact on your ranking in Amazon is it's the likes and the reviews. You can
Yep.
get all the likes you want on Facebook, but they won't do anything for your ranking on Amazon.
And that's where it matters for an ebook author is on Amazon, right?
Absolutely. Especially one like me who is only currently on Kindle, which is a nice.
Oh. Julia, I think we lost the sound.
Are you there?
Oh, I can hear you now. Well, I just had a question about why you didn't go onto the other ebook reader platforms like Nook and the iPad and Kobo. Why did you just choose the Kindle?
I think, and I'll be frank here and candid, for me, I was overwhelmed at that point with everything that was going into getting on just one.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of held that in reserve with the gentleman who did the layout for Widow Woman for Kindle for me. And
Yep.
in fact, I just contacted him yesterday and said, okay, now let's go the next step. We've gotten it on Kindle, and let's go the next step and we'll get it ready for Nook and Apple.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it was a decision that I wrestled with.
Yeah.
Um, I was worried that I might be shooting myself in the foot, but I've learned a couple of things out of that decision, more
Yep.
things I didn't know. And this one is the surprised me the most is that there are a number of readers out there who believe that if they do not own a Kindle, they cannot read Kindle books.
Now, this is important, Julia. Tell our Rising readers the truth of the matter about this.
Truth of the matter is that you can download for free app to virtually any device,
Yeah,
iPad,
exactly.
iPhone, and the big one that surprised me, PCs. Yes, Microsoft users, you can download the Kindle app to your PC for free.
Yep.
Read any book that's on Kindle. You do not have to buy a Kindle to read a Kindle book. And if I had gone that route immediately and put my
Mm-hmm.
book on Nook immediately,
Yep.
I never would have learned that myself unless I
Yeah.
stumbled across it. But I wouldn't, that's not something I would have gone looking for to
Yep.
research. But so many people were saying, well, I can't read your book. And I thought, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Maybe it, I don't know. Let me look. And then I discovered it. And what's more, I tested it because I was telling readers this.
Yep.
Went
Another
and I
great tip.
downloaded the app to all of my devices, including my PC laptop, to make sure
That you
that
could read it.
across the different devices and all the different technology, it worked. And it did. And it's free. And it takes 5 minutes.
That's
So
how I'm reading your book, is on my Kindle Cloud Reader on my MacBook, and also the Kindle app on my iPad, because I am a Nook owner. Don't have a Kindle, but it's actually very easy to read from my MacBook, which is great.
good. I'm glad to hear it's coming across well on that. That's good.
Yep. So another little question that I had about your events. Now, one thing that captivated me was you mentioned that you had a unique way to sign things for your readers and for your fans. Would you share that with our Wise Ink readers?
Sure, sure. There are two things that I've done for signings. Number one, and I made sure to have some sitting here so you could see them. I had a rack card made up.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
Beautiful. Yes, I give all the credit to my designer who did the cover, Alan Pranky. And yes, Alan, you again. He did. But so I had these rack cards made up, and I was going to have bookmarks made, but that seemed kind of silly because it's not a printed book.
Printed book. Yep.
So I wanted something that would be a little bit bigger, but still manageable. If you wanted to use it for a bookmark, you could in some of your other books. And then on the back, it has a brief blurb, and it also has my contact information where readers can find me, that I'm on my website, justscribbling.com, and then I'm also available on Facebook, Twitter, and Goodreads. So I was signing those at the event. But the other thing that I discovered, which is really fascinating, and I think it's on the cusp of being something really exciting for digital readers. It originally was called Kindle Graph. Kindle, GRAPH.com.
Okay.
Amazon probably heard about it because now they've gone under a name change. So you have to find it under authorgraph.com, AUTHORGRAPH.com. And it is a digital signing tool for authors of ebooks.
Wow.
It's free for the authors, it's free for the readers. As an author, you go to the website, you submit your book, and it becomes loaded onto their searchable database of authors, and it has an image of your cover. As a reader, you visit that website, search for the author or the book, and submit a request. So then the author gets an email in their inbox that says, you have a request for an autograph waiting for you. And you can customize the message, which is written in a pre-digested generic script, and that goes to the reader. But you can either use that same script for your signature, or you can use your mouse to actually do a live signature, which then becomes a widget. You can put that on your home page, on your cell page, on your website. I actually signed a few autographs already via AuthorGraph. Now, the technology is not perfect because signing with your mouse, my writing, I looked at it and I thought, wow, if I were a reader and I saw that was an author's signature, I'd seriously have to wonder if they were illiterate. My gosh, terrible. But I think there is something to be said for the readers knowing that this is a personal connection that they are making with the author, and it's instant and immediate. You don't have to go to a signing and stand in line. You can reach out to somebody who's on the other side of the country at a signing and request their autograph in the middle of the night, and they will get it to you. And there are a number of big name authors on there. E.L. James was on the page the day that I submitted.
Well, we know if she's doing it, then we all should just jump on that bandwagon now.
Jump on the bandwagon. Yes.
That's a super cool tool. I'm so glad you shared that. I'm going to have to look that up as soon as we finish with this. So, Julia, I have one last question for you, for our readers, and I just want to have you mention what your advice to all ebook only authors would be.
I guess I would say that you need to have a budget because while there are
Oh.
things that you do for free, for example, KDP Publishing, their arm, that's free to upload your book. But I don't think that e-authors should make the mistake of thinking that they can do this for free. There are things
Mm-hmm.
that will cost money, and there are things that they should not skimp on. And number one of those, I think, is probably your cover. That I think is
Yes.
your cover is a critical piece of your branding because unlike an author with a print book, that's your only contact with your potential readers.
That's
And if
right.
you get 1 to 2 seconds of their attention to make an impression, think how fast you scroll through covers when you're looking for a book on Amazon.
It's no
Maybe one
time
to
at
two.
all.
So
Yeah.
make sure that you get a budget where you can afford to have a good cover. Don't skimp on the editing. Your book has to be better than any print book out there. It's really got to be top notch. Don't rely on yourself to do your own editing. You must have somebody professional do that. Um,
I'm
be
screaming
persistent.
amen over here.
Be persistent.
Yep.
You can't take a day off really when you're marketing, which is a little bit intimidating, but
Yeah.
you also need room each day to step away from that. You don't want to go to every family party or event or block party in your neighborhood waving cards in people's faces.
Yeah.
Take time to step away from it and live your life so that you come back recharged and refreshed. Um, and one of the tips that I learned, which hopefully I don't know if it's coming through with the lighting in here. I did learn a really good tip about color branding. And I'm just,
Ooh.
you're going to have a color scheme to your cover. So when you go to signings or do interviews about your book, try to color coordinate things. So I've got the rack
Oh.
cards. I made sure that the poster is
It's
prominently displayed behind me. I'm wearing a shirt that's in kind of the same color scheme. The rack cards are the folder I keep my sell sheets in. It's all
oh,
branded
wonderful.
color. Because people may not necessarily remember the title, but they're going to remember that color and the feelings that it kind of it created in them.
That's a
Um,
great tip. And I was wondering if you were wearing blue on purpose, and clearly you are.
And I can't tell you, my last tip has to do with how I felt when you said that just now. I kind of went, oh, that sounds so icky and smarmy. I'm like a used car salesman. And my
No.
last is you have to get comfortable with
Yeah.
promoting yourself. Writing a book is actually the easy part. Selling it is far more work, and you
Yep.
have to get comfortable with the ask. You have to get comfortable with it. If you can't, you'll be able to have a beautiful book out there, but it's possible that it won't be read because you're just not going to meet the audiences you need to meet,
That's right.
particularly have is a digital version of it. It's much harder to meet those audiences, so you got to work just that little bit harder and get comfortable with the ask.
I love the tone, the ask.
Well, and you can't ask like that. No.
Well, you've given our readers some fantastic tips. I mean, I got way more than I bargained for in this interview with you. I'm going to have you come back because I know that you have just picked up so many wonderful tools that these ebook readers out here, including myself, will be able to use over and over and over again. Thank you so much, Julia. But before we wrap up, I want to make sure that our readers know where to find your book. So I know they can find it on Amazon.com, but you've also got a Facebook fan page for your book. And you said that the person has to put in Widow Woman book.
Yes,
Yep.
because there is a widow woman out there, and she's not a book.
So that's important, Wise Ink readers. You want to put in Widow Woman book on Facebook to like Widow Woman there. And one other thing, your website. It's
Yes,
justscribbling.com.
scribbling.com. Yes.